Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Cuzzo cast. My name is Nick. I'll be your host, and I'm joined by my cousin Franco.
What's up, guys?
All right, and today we're going to talk about something that I think kind of just comes up in our conversation at least once every day. It's got to be about the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire situation when it comes to Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, it's all people are talking about now. And really, we have no idea whether or not they're going to be in. There are some reasons to believe that they won't be in. There are some reasons to believe that they will be in. Both sides have some pretty large amount of things going for them. But I think for now, I think a good way to preface our upcoming discussion is to just give a kind of definitive viewpoint. Which side do we stand on? Of course, this viewpoint can change at any moment, but I'm going to give you what I think about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being in this movie, and then Franco will give you his viewpoint. So I was always under the impression, like, all right, I'm not going to hype myself over something that's so unrealistic. You know, this always happens. People say, oh, Adam Warlock's going to be in Infinity War. Oh, I can't wait for Keanu Reeves to play Silver Surfer. Like, this stuff happens for every Marvel movie, and normally it never comes true. So why would this be the thing that happens? And I think that now, though, there is some reason to believe that this might be happening. And while I would rather just stay impartial and say, let's see what happens, for the sake of this discussion, I'm going to say I'm on board with the idea that they're coming. So, Frank, let us know, where do you stand? Are they in or not?
They are in, and I want to tell you why. Let's break down what we know for a fact about this movie. We know Alfred Molina is coming back as Dr. Octopus. We know for a fact that he is playing the same Dr. Octopus as in Spider-Man 2. We know Jamie Foxx is coming back to play Electro. So you're telling me you're going to bring back these main villains of these movies, and you're not going to bring back the actors? It just seemed, all the clues, all the things they're revealing, it just seems so obvious that they are in this movie. And really, whatever doubt people have in their mind, it's really, at the end of the day, you just got to believe. I believe they are in this movie. I could not be more excited to see them in this movie, and I think it's going to be amazing, honestly, whatever they give us. Whether it's big cameo, small role, whatever it is, I'm so excited.
I really, sometimes I love that giddy optimism, right? I mean, look, I would love to be totally on board, but you gotta, at least just for me, I gotta temper my expectations. But like you said, you bring up a great point. I mean, if we looked back on this retrospectively and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire did show up in the movie, everybody will say, oh, it was so obvious. They confirmed Alfred Molina months before. They confirmed Jamie Foxx for Electro. I mean, it was right there the whole time. But obviously, we don't have the luxury of knowing what's happening. Those characters coming back from outside of the MCU, it's so weird. And you gotta imagine, like, if they're gonna go for them, why wouldn't they at this point? And the only thing I do have to say about that is that we all know what happened with Evan Peters. I mean, they did bring him back just for, really, let's be blunt, no reason. I mean, sure, it was fun because with WandaVision, we had to wait in between episodes. But if you watched that right now in one sitting and saw Evan Peters in, and then you just watch the next 3 episodes later, nothing would have happened. So maybe how can we not expect another Evan Peters situation with Jamie Foxx and Molina? I don't know.
All right, I want to drop some more kind of slightly concrete, slightly kind of like fan fiction-y type facts on you guys. So we have been told that WandaVision, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man No Way Home are going to have some kind of slim connection to each other. We know that Doctor Strange 2 is being directed by Sam Raimi. And what else has Sam Raimi directed? The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy. We know Doctor Strange 2 is 100% dealing with the multiverse. We have been teased with the multiverse throughout Spider-Man Far From Home and WandaVision with everything going on, and we know for a fact we are getting it in Multiverse of Madness. And if Spider-Man is really going to have some kind of connection to the Doctor Strange sequel, I just see in some way or some form the Spider-Verse is going to be explored in this movie. And what point of exploring it then if you're not going to bring back the original Spider-Man in some kind of way?
I think there is a really good reason to believe that they're in this movie because why wouldn't they? And the only thing that kind of bothers me about it for real, though, is that I feel like these fan theories started to surface after the movie was already in production. Like, I feel like this was the fans' ideas, and it would make sense if they made the movies after all these theories came out, but I feel like they were around the same time. So what, did they change their script? Or did the fans anticipate something that they already started years and years ago? I mean, you have to imagine these scripts are done so far in advance. I mean, I believe that James Gunn did the Guardians 3 script before he ever even got fired, and now that movie's gonna 6-year delay or whatever, you know? So how far in advance was No Way Home written, and did they have that idea to bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in? Did we anticipate something like that, or is this just something that we're all making up? I don't know. It's a hard call.
And that really kind of goes to the question about the size of their role in the movie. Because if it was just going to be a small cameo or a quick appearance, then yeah, honestly, that is probably something they could have really added in last minute.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to maybe do a teaser, maybe they're going to be a bigger part of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and they're gonna let this Peter Parker have his story and kind of wrap up his trilogy going on, and then lead into Spider-Verse stuff. But basically, yeah, I definitely agree that I think the fan theories have gotten people's hopes a little too high and have gotten like what this movie might really be about a little out of hand. But I think a lot of people are justified in these theories, like based on kind of the information I've been giving out, that we know WandaVision, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man are all connecting. We know what these stories are dealing with. We know what actors are coming back. So I think the theories are very justified. And I think it's just a matter of fact is if they don't follow through with it, I don't think that's the worst thing ever. I love the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I know this movie's still going to be great whether they're in it or not, whether the old Spider people are in it or not. But I think it'll just be an incredible thing that they can do for this movie, and it'll transcend what the whole MCU can be moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, kind of talking about what you were mentioning earlier is that if they are in this movie, I really think it would just be like a cameo. I really think that they wrote this script a while ago, and that if they're in this movie, they would have had to find a place for them in an already written script. I mean, really, when you think about it, look at how much they even have set up for this movie. Take aside all the multiverse stuff. You know, I mean, we have Spider-Man. His identity was revealed. I mean, you could make a whole movie about that by itself and not include any villains. I mean, and they were even setting up Kraven the Hunter, and you have Vulture who is now with Morbius, and they're talking about Venom coming in. So with all this stuff going on, it's maybe this is kind of pushing it.
Oh yeah, so going a little farther with what we think the implications of the Venom and Morbius movies could be on the MCU. So they are definitely making it really clear that they want to bring in these Sony films to kind of develop the world a little bit more. And I think that's a great idea. You can expand the MCU and they don't have to work on these movies. They could still focus on their plan, and they could still have these little these seeds in these other movies kind of building the world. We know from the Venom trailer, we saw there's people already theorizing the logo for the Daily Bugle in the newspaper. It's the same as in the Tobey Maguire films. But then we see in the newspaper it talks about the Avengers in one of the articles. And then in the Morbius trailer, I remember there's a picture of Spider-Man in the background, but it's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. But on it, it says murderer. So they got to be talking about the Tom Holland Spider-Man because everyone thinks he murdered Mysterio. So, what are they trying to set up? Is this a multiverse thing? Are they part of the MCU? There's just so many different, theories and ways of thinking of it. It's endless what they could do with this. And it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about is all about that Andrew Garfield footage. So I'm assuming you saw the footage by now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Andrew seems to be denying any involvement with this movie, and I think it's really interesting because people, nowadays I feel like you never know if an actor is really telling the truth. To me, based off of my impressions of watching his reaction, you know, he was really, really going in on uncovering that lie. If it was a lie, like he was really embellishing the fact that he did not get a call, that he's not a part of it, that there's nothing going on with him. Like, you would think that if he was in the movie, that he would just be like, I don't know, man. I mean, that'd be really cool, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not a $1 million paid actor. I just gave him the perfect answer off the top of my head, and he's like, "Oh no, I did not get a call. That is total, like, no, that's not going on." And he's even dropping F-bombs in this denial. So, like, Disney movie main star, like, I don't know, man. Like, obviously, Andrew Garfield is a fantastic actor, so he can put on the act. I'm not saying that like he can't pretend like he's lying or anything, but it would just be so easy for him to just say, "Oh no, I don't know," and then dodge the question. But yet he's over here like going on and on and on. He won't stop talking about it. Like, I don't know, would someone who's in such a big secret do that?
I just got one word to say about all this. Cap. He is capping. Like, forget Hacksaw Ridge. He deserves an Oscar nomination for that interview. He is lying to the media. He is in this movie. He's just putting on this performance, just trying to get people to believe he's not in this movie, because we all know what an NDA is. We know he can't reveal what's in this movie without getting in trouble, but he is in this movie. And he's doing an amazing job convincing us that he is not. But I see right through him. You, Andrew Garfield, if you are listening, you are in this movie, and stop pretending that you aren't.
Yeah, but just like, the more he talks, if he was in this movie and had an NDA, the more he talks, the more he puts himself at risk to be in, like, a lot of trouble and to give the secret away. So why wouldn't he just give a generic answer and dodge the question? It's so simple.
Because you don't get any speculation with that. Marvel is smart. Like, you think when Tom Holland reveals some spoilers, oh, he just accidentally did it? No, Marvel has a plan. They want people speculating, talking about their movies and stuff. And this is the best kind of publicity you can get for a movie like this. I really believe that this is all part of their plan, honestly. That might just be have a little too much faith in Marvel. Maybe they really don't care that much. But I do, and that is why I believe he's in this movie. I believe he is doing whatever he can to create speculation and get people hyped for his return.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them doing that. I mean, you're talking about the biggest movie company in the world. Surely they would be able to employ people to help, create such a marketing campaign such as this. I don't know. I mean, sure, they've probably done it in the past, especially with Tom Holland, but, like, Mark Ruffalo definitely was not supposed to say everyone dies. 100% was not supposed to say that. So, I mean, I think that it's possible that they're doing, like, a marketing campaign like that, but that is a long con. Here's the thing. I think that a trailer should be coming out at least in the next couple weeks. And something that I think gives me the most confidence that these guys are going to be in this movie is the fact that they haven't released a trailer. Because when you think about it, if they were not in this movie, then Marvel has really let things get too out of hand. Because there will be a lot of criticism coming their way if they're not in the movie. And, maybe that's not right. I'm not defending that, but it's the truth. People are going to criticize this movie if they're not in it to no end. They should have revealed a trailer or deconfirmed something a long time ago. So, personally, I think that's probably the biggest thing they got going for them is that, like, I don't know, Marvel would probably be putting themselves in a really bad situation if they didn't say something by now,
When Endgame and Far From Home are coming out, you have to drop this Far From Home trailer like 8 months before the movie's coming out. kind of spoiling a part of Endgame, but we are not even that far away from No Way Home, and you still won't give us a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, what is up? I don't get that game plan. You don't care about ruining stuff for Endgame and Far From Home, but like now you're leaving us out to dry. Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's really weird. Like, but I think we're getting on our time soon. So one thing I'd like to say for my closing statements, and then you can have yours, is that I think the best possible scenario, if Andrew and Tobey are in, I feel like the most likely scenario is that they are small cameos towards the end or maybe in the middle of the film, and that will set up another Spider-Man movie, and it will be Tom, Tobey, and Andrew against the Sinister Six. Because I don't think Tom can handle the Sinister Six on his own. I mean, he can't even beat Mysterio. The guy don't even got powers. Like, come on. He's not going to beat the whole Sinister Six on his own. And they're assembling a pretty lethal team. We got Morbius, Venom, Kraven the Hunter. So I think that the only way that they can do a Sinister Six movie would be to give Peter some help. And a great way to do that would be to put Tobey and Andrew in. So I would say very small cameos in No Way Home. Big movie. What we're all expecting No Way Home to be will be Spider-Verse Sinister Six.
I definitely agree. I think what they got to do, they got to let Tom Holland finish his trilogy. You got to do this story with him on the run. He's got to kind of like have his little like story arc, whatever he's got to deal with, whether he's going to come to terms with his identity being out there or find a way to like make things right. And then whatever they do in Doctor Strange is going to lead into a bigger Spider-Verse crossover. So, yes, I believe they are 100% in the movie, but I don't think it's going to be the huge roles that everyone may expect. I think it will be a very little teaser and lead into something bigger. Instead of worrying too much about what may or might happen, just kind of look forward to what we are getting. We're getting a new Spider-Man film. We're getting other Sony films that are going to be tying in. We know we are getting returning characters for sure, which can lead to so many different crossovers and spin-offs and anything you want. So there's just so much more to look forward to than to like kind of dread.
Yeah, I think within all of this, speculation, we kind of forget that 5 years ago, the idea of an MCU Spider-Man trilogy was literally unheard of. Never would have crossed our minds, but here we are, and probably more than 5 years ago. When was Civil War?
Civil War was 2016.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a while. But Spider-Man's getting his own trilogy in the MCU. That's pretty awesome. And he probably is going to get, like, a lead spot in the main cast. So, that's all we got for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed listening to our ramblings about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, these two random guys just chilling in this movie. Frank, you guys want to...
I'm Franco. Thanks so much for listening.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later.